Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic has been out for a while now, and we have some crazy lore drops, including the characters of not only Foxy, but also Chica and Roxy and Monty being completely stolen and not made by Henry or William. Let's get into it. But first, you guys know the drill. If you want to enter for a chance to win a copy of Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, be sure to like this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification button, and comment your favorite thing about this game. If this video does well enough, I'll be fortunate enough to give away a copy of this game, so let's get those views pumping, gang. In Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic, after gaining the Pirate Captain Springlock suit, we have a section where we play through and interact with a puppet show. Who's the main character, you ask? Foxy the Pirate. That's right, the very same Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, every incarnation of Foxy. This is where he starts with Edwin, not William or Henry, Edwin. So this Foxy puppet show looks to be another kind of concept thing that he would sell to other people, being an animatronic puppet show that he created using a cast of animatronic puppet characters that he created as well, and these would be sold and rented out to random places like all of his other animatronics, because that's the whole idea of his thing, is that he leases it and sells it to other companies. Most of these don't stand out very much, but this one does, because the main character is the very first incarnation of Foxy the Pirate. So William and Henry would go on to steal these characters from Edwin later down the track, because we know that they purchased Edwin's business when they tanked it intentionally so that it would have to be sold, pretty much stealing it from Edwin. After this, Edwin would die to the Mimic in the Secret of the Mimic. I think it's a good ending or something, you hear that tape, meaning that Fazbear could steal the character and all related assets and nobody would bat an eye, because Edwin is literally dead. But this actually gets slightly crazier, because it's not just Foxy that was in this puppet show. Roxy, Roxanne, Security Breach, she was in this too. That's right, Roxanne Wolf from Security Breach originated here with good old Foxy. So I don't know why we didn't see Roxanne for years and years and years until like 2050 when Security Breach takes place, but we saw Foxy for ages. Maybe they were just like thought one Fox was enough. I don't really know, but it would have been cool to see Roxy earlier. Either way, I think this is awesome, making the first two Fox characters canonically friends and crewmates. Like, that is so cute, that is so wholesome. I'm also pretty sure Roxy is trans, because here Roxy is referred to as he, but then as we all know in Security Breach, Roxy is referred to as she, her, so yeah, that's pretty cool. It gets even crazier, because although not from Foxy's pirate show, Monty Gator also appears here in a very early form. This is insane. Monty from Security Breach. What the heck is going on? So this time for Monty, we see a bunch of cardboard cutouts. We see an animatronic, but it's obviously nothing like our typical Five Nights at Freddy's ones. It's just kind of a weird singing thing one. But as we know in the ending, Monty also has a Five Nights at Freddy's 1 style suit, which is a Springlock suit, which is awesome and just insane. Could you imagine if he was there from the very start in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 along Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica? That would have been sick. And it just keeps getting crazier. Mr. Hippo is here too, which I feel like definitely adds to the Mediocre Melodies lore, since these are confirmed to have been random knockoff Five Nights at Freddy's characters made that must have maybe not been collected by Fazbear legally, which is why they didn't end up in locations earlier than Security Breach. You know, Henry and Emily were maybe like, oh, who cares about these characters, they're stupid. But I mean, I like them, I like Monty. Mr. Hippo is alright. I love Roxy, so there's probably more to it that we don't know yet, but to be honest, I don't think people care that much, because nobody really cares about Mr. Hippo in general, and the Mediocre Melodies kind of fell off before they were even on, to be totally honest. But if you do care about him, fair enough, I'm not going to judge. Anyway, following this, we have a really interesting and unique situation with Chica the Chicken. So we have this section of the game where the Mimic goes into a Chica costume, and then we get chased around this like office area, and there's a lot of Chica like branding stuff, and it's all for Chica's party world, which is really interesting. So we've known for a long time that Chica was a completely separate character initially from the rest of the cast before eventually joining, likely in the Unwithered stage is when Chica joined as an animatronic. But it seems here what we are seeing is that Edwin made suits for Chica's own restaurant that she had before Freddy Fazbear's, being Chica's party world, which I think is referenced in a couple of other things, because Chica had this restaurant initially. She probably looked pretty different, and then Henry and Emily stole her because maybe Edwin owned the character, and then when Fazbear stole it, they got Chica, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, Chica's Party World is a completely separate thing from Five Nights at Freddy's, the locations, Henry and Emily, Fazbear, everything. And it just had Chica and a cupcake, which we also get to see an early cupcake design, which is honestly a lot cuter. I think the normal cupcake design we're used to is like way more iconic and timeless, and you know, who doesn't love this goddamn cupcake? But this one is really, really cute. I really like it, and I like that he has little boots. It's adorable. And we see a lot of these around in this section, which is really cool. Instead of just one, there's like 50 million of them. Anyway, despite Chica being a separate character that Edwin didn't own or was just contracted to make a suit for, Fazbear somehow did eventually get a hold of her and stole it to add to their own crew. I think what probably happened is after Edwin died, maybe Chica's Party World failed, so they just kind of were like, we don't care about Chica, so let's just sell her. Or maybe they didn't do anything with her, and maybe they died, and then William and Henry were like, okay, let's just take her, it's just cool. That'd make a really cool game, actually, now that I say that out loud. A Chica's Party World game where it's just Chica. Wow, I just cooked. They should make that. I should make that. Guys, comment down below what that game would entail, what characters would be in it, what crazy lore drops. I want to hear your thoughts. Would be really interesting. Anyway, so it looks like after all this time, the reveal is that Henry and Emily only thought of Bonnie and Freddy on their own, and then added Foxy and Chica later when they completely stole them from other people. We know this because Fredbear's Family Diner, the first ever restaurant in the series, was just Golden Freddy and Golden Bonnie, with Fredbear becoming the Golden Freddy spirit with Cassidy and everything, and Golden Bonnie, of course, becoming Springtrap, as we know, Spring Bonnie, when Spring locked William inside, which was awesome. Not for him, but for me. So yeah, some really interesting lore reveals here that I honestly really enjoyed and was very surprised by. I like the idea that each location had different characters too. Like, imagine going to a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location, it's like Freddy, Foxy, and like Monty Gator. That would have been so cool and kind of weird, but I like the idea that there's only one of each of these characters as well, despite us seeing like 10 million different suits in the first game. But yeah, oh well, I can dream. I think it would be really cool to see more of this sort of thing, like, you know, the earliest incarnations of characters. Like, I still really want to see a game where we get to see Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, like before the Spring Lock, before the Bite of 87 or 83. I just want to see like the earliest take on these characters, and like it can be creepy, but you know, no hauntings. It's just like they're creepy because they're creepy, you know. Wouldn't that be cool? Like a game set primarily at Fredbear's Family Diner. And another thing I see a lot of people talking about, especially lately, is that they want Five Nights at Freddy's to kind of go back to its basics, like point and click and just doors and cameras and stuff, because everyone's getting sick and tired of, you know, how new and different it is. And, you know, I think that's a pretty fair thing to feel and to think. Obviously, Five Nights at Freddy's as a franchise has changed a lot over the years, but, you know, so is like any franchise ever. If it stayed the same and stale, you know, it couldn't really go anywhere. But I think it has to kind of change to be able to evolve and keep making new and cool stuff. But in saying that, I do understand when people, you know, miss how Five Nights at Freddy's used to be. But, you know, it's not like you can't go and play those games anyway. I think what a good solution would be is if Steelwool kept making their games, because in my opinion they're awesome. The Mimic's lore is awesome. I love all of it. But maybe if Scott or someone else just made like classic style games, like I was saying, they could do a Fredbear game, or, you know, you could do like a day shift of Freddy's game. Like, you know, you work the day and I don't know, you have to do orders and stop the animatronics or something. I don't know. I feel like there's so much potential with this franchise that isn't really tapped into. I feel like the main issue is that Scott just doesn't trust people with the brand very much. And you know what? That's completely fair, I think, on his part. I get that Five Nights at Freddy's is like his baby and he doesn't want to risk anyone messing anything up. But at the same time, like, if he's not going to do anything with it, why not let other people do stuff with it, you know? We want to see cool games. We want to play cool games. Simple as that. Anyway, I just want to say sorry for my voice being gross in this video. I'm still a little bit sick, but I really wanted to get a video out for you guys because I haven't made one in a bit. So, apologies for that. I got more videos on the way already. So, we'll be seeing those soon. Well, you guys will be seeing those soon. I already have seen them. I mean, I haven't edited them or recorded them or anything, but the ideas are in my head, so yeah. Anyway, just to reiterate, make sure to like and subscribe and comment with bell notifications on to enter for a chance to win a copy of FNaF Secret of the Mimic if this video does well enough. That's all from me, guys. Take it easy, comment your thoughts down below, and if you don't subscribe, I will literally kill you. Peace out.